This week in Ohio Country Today.
We catch up with Mark Badertscher, OSU Extension Agent from Hardin County. We meet Bill Meyer in his restored 830 case. And we learn more about Grow Next Gen from the Ohio Soybean Council.
All that and more this week in Ohio Country Today.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
Hello once again, everybody. We are visiting now from the Farm Science Review with Mark Badertscher. Mark is the Agricultural and Natural Resources Extension Educator in Hardin County. Mark, it's a pleasure visiting with you. Your talk at the review had to do with nutrient management when it comes to corn. And we know that there's always a problem, a potential problem with runoff. And you run specific trials to try to get more information. And what have your recent trials discovered?
Well, our research that we've been doing over the past 3 to 4 years have been three different areas. We're working with nitrogen rate in corn, we're working with nitrogen timing, and we're also looking at nutrient placement. So we're not only concerned with what is the most economical rate of nitrogen that we can apply to our corn crop, that would be the nitrogen rate aspect of the research. But we want to know what's the best time to put that nitrogen on, because if we put the nitrogen on too early, we have a greater chance for loss, as you mentioned. And we can lose nitrogen three different ways in a corn crop. We can lose it through volatilization, where it turns into a gas into the air. We can lose it by denitrification from the soils being too wet. And if we get a big rain right after we apply nitrogen, we can lose nitrogen due to leaching through the soil. So that's our nitrogen timing, is to find out when is the best time to put on nitrogen and get the most efficient use out of that nitrogen. And then the final aspect is how can we protect those nutrients that we apply to the soil. So my other area was nutrient placement. So there we were experimenting with using MAP fertilizer actually across the surface of the soil versus broadcast and incorporate versus injection of the nutrient.
So there would be an extensive amount of variables when it comes to planting corn and applying nitrogen. What might be the most influential?
Well, with nitrogen we find that the most extensive and influential variable is rainfall. You have to have the correct amount of rain at the right time to bring the nitrogen to the roots of the corn plant. And however, like I said, if you don't get that required rainfall, then you might not get quite the response from your nitrogen dollar. And if we get too much rainfall, then it can work the other way too. Then we can have loss of the nutrient. And when we have loss of the nutrient, such as we did in 2015 when we had heavy rains, it not only becomes an economic factor, but it becomes an environmental factor too, because we lose that nitrogen and can end up getting into our waterways.
Well, being from Hardin County, I know that there's a lot of variety, a lot of different kind of soils. And how does the soil or type of soil have an impact on all of this?
Well, our particular studies that we've done, I have tried to do each study in both a mineral soil, which is what most of Ohio has, and then also we have muck soils in Hardin County, which have a lot of organic material, a lot of carbon, which translates into a lot of nitrogen fixation and nitrogen in the soil. So we have tried our research and duplicated it in both types of soils, so we know the effect that we are having in a mineral soil versus a muck soil. And we found that in a muck soil, with our nitrogen rate experiment, for example, it didn't matter whether we put 100 pounds of nitrogen per acre at side dress or we put 250 pounds of nitrogen per side dress. We had no significant difference in yield. The corn still yielded about 190 bushel per acre.
On the surface, I would imagine you wouldn't need as much nitrogen in the muck type of soil.
That's correct, and actually we did not even use a starter nitrogen in that particular trial. Now on the mineral soil, it's a different scenario. So we are using starter nitrogen in the mineral plots the soils that we are doing, and then coming back with side dress applications.
Well, I know after doing those trials year after year after year that you have a storehouse of data, and extension educators like to keep that and give it out to different groups of people, mostly farmers. Mm-hmm. For people watching right now and we've only touched the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, if some of our viewers would like to get a little bit more information on some of the trials that you've done, what's the best way for them to go about getting that?
Well, up until this past year, the best place for them to gain access to this on-farm research data is to go to agcrops.osu.edu and look for the on-farm research reports. Those are peer-reviewed and before they are ever published, so they're always about a year or so behind. Last year we started a new method, we call it eFields, where we actually produce a book, and that is put out the following winter. And you can go to efields.osu.edu to access the digital version of that book, or go to your local county extension office and see if they can give you a copy of the eFields book, which actually has the most recent research results in it.
Very good. And as I said, we can only touch about this much of all of what Mark was telling us about. Mark, thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy here today.
Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to a fellow person from Hardin County.
And stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
It's a humble idea. Use a biological process to turn a plant into a power source. From that idea came the first Poet refinery. One biorefinery in one town turned into 27 facilities in 27 towns, creating new local jobs, producing hundreds of millions of gallons of ethanol, and providing renewable products around the world. Suddenly, that one little idea seems a whole lot bigger. See the world differently with Poet.
United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
Welcome back, and with me today is Bill Meyer. You're engaged in agriculture full time. Some folks we talked to really had no connection to agriculture. Just got hooked on showing tractors.
Well, it's an 830. My dad bought it new in 1964 from John Slagle. He lived a mile down the road from us. He bought a whole line of equipment that year. I was 4 years old, and my older sisters run it first, and then me and my brothers, 2 younger brothers, we all cut our teeth on it, I guess, and we just couldn't let it go, so we fixed it all up, and that's how it goes.
Well, you were sharing a little bit about, how many members of your family there were, and how many people got experience cutting their teeth on this tractor.
Oh, yeah, we'd fight over it. My older sister Mary Jo and me. When I turned 9 and I overruled her, she was pretty disappointed then. So, but then I more or less took over the farm and everything's going good so far then. So we all get along good, and that's all that matters.
Right. I think you said you had 15?
There's 15, 12 sisters, and I had 2 brothers. So.
Well, you were really outnumbered then, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. But I held my own.
Well, you were talking about, we got a little history on the tractor, and I asked you about the baler, and there's really not any history other than this thing is old, and you do use it.
Yeah, I pick up hay after the chopper comes through the field, and we bale some straw for different things we need straw for. We don't use a lot, a couple hundred bales a year, but that's about it. So,
well, there's a lot of history behind Case in particular. I know you said you've been a Case fan all your life.
yeah, I can tell you a lot if you had the time to listen, but no, the reason that it was a narrow front, Dad could have had the wide front, but he was planning on putting a mounted picker on back end, but he decided to go with the narrow front in case he ever put it, but we never did put a mounted picker on it. We had corn plows on it and stuff like that, but never got the mounted picker on it. So I wouldn't mind finding one sometime, but I don't think I probably will in the near future.
Well, some of those pieces of equipment for these, say for example, Case and some of those, to find a mounted picker, for example, that would fit that would be a pretty difficult find.
Well, yeah, I know a guy from Pickway, John Yinks. I think he's got a picker of just about every style and about every kind there is. I mean, Oliver, he's got pickers I didn't even know they made.
Well, Bill, having a show tractor is one thing, and keeping a show tractor if you don't use it, but you use these things, and how do you keep them looking so good, and what does it take to keep them maintained and get it show ready after you used it?
Well, getting it maintained was another thing. It was getting pretty bad shape, and I had a guy from Salina, Ethan Toby. He helped me repaint it. Matter of fact, he did the work. He did the repainting. I'm not a very good painter, and I know a lot of guys that had parts. You can't find new parts, so you gotta get good used parts. And as a whole, the whole tractor was there. It just needed a few minor parts, and really, the tractor itself, the motor, the transmission, we never touched it. And Dad always pulled a 514s with it, and the neighbors all said he was a little bit on the crazy side for pulling that big of a plow, but we never ever did anything to it. It was just a good tractor. It just kept working until we retired it, and then, like I said, then we just fixed it up and went from there. So, and as far as getting parts, you can get them. You just got to look for them.
It's like trying to turn the right rock over and find it.
Right. Yeah. There's old Don Marshall. He helped me with a lot of stuff, and I don't want to start mentioning names because there's a lot of people that helped me with getting it to where it is.
Well, we were just talking though. You still do use the thing though. Obviously, you use the baler, run a couple hundred bales a year, and it's in pretty good condition and looks to be that way. And the tractor is too. How do you keep the tractor looking so good?
Just keep it inside most of the time, and we never leave it sit out no more. And we never know heavy, dirty work. It's always running on augers or pulling wagons, kids around. It's more or less retired.
Well, I have some old tractors myself, and of course my boys want to know why I have them because they're not really usable for much of anything, and mine actually just sit in the shed and I have them covered up with a tarp.
Well, my boys, why do you buy that stuff for? And I don't know. I just got old enough to thought I could start buying it. So,
when you get old enough, that's part of the criteria, right?
I guess because they just shake their head at me and keep moving on. So,
Bill, thanks for being with us today. We really appreciate you taking time to talk with us.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad to talk to you.
S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory. Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2140. United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
My name is Jeannie Gogolski, and I'm the CEO of Education Projects. And our goal is to work with organizations like the Ohio Soybean Council to bring industry to the classroom, to inspire teachers, to engage students, to get them excited about their futures. And in particular, Grow Next Gen, the effort of the Ohio Soybean Council, is to move the needle on education in Ohio, to have students in Ohio be excited about agriculture and all it brings, to for teachers to have a deep understanding of how modern agriculture is science-based, and our whole goal of the workshops where we bring teachers to do professional development is to train them, inspire them, engage their students, and think, wow, agriculture is so wonderful. So that's what we do.
My name is Anthony Kilburn, and I attended the Ag Biotech Conference today. My favorite thing about today was going to the test plots that had corn, soybean, alfalfa, sorghum, and different crops there, and learning how they cross-pollinate them, how they eliminate pollination, how they get nitrogen samples and phosphorus and potassium samples, and it was really good to bring something back to my classroom that I can use.
So today we went out to the plots and we tagged plants. So that's the first time that I've ever tagged plants. We did it for septic technique, but they were talking about how they do it for fertilizers and to see if they are absorbing the nutrients and stuff, and that was new to me, and I thought that was very exciting and interesting. Well, there's 4 groups. Each are doing a different chocolate or a different protein, so we can compare them. We are doing it with 100% unsweetened chocolate and soy whey, and the group over there is doing milk whey with 100% chocolate.
We are melting cocoa butter in a process that will result in chocolate bars. And we're doing the semi-sweet and whey protein, milk whey.
I'm Rachel Sanders. I'm the bio-research instructor at Global Impact and a teacher leader for Grow Next Gen. So my goal here is to connect teachers together with industry leaders in the ag industry specifically and create hands-on learning experiences that they can take back to their classroom.
So tell us about your school and what its mission is.
Okay, Global Impact STEM Academy is actually an ag bioscience-based STEM school with an early college opportunities for the students as well. It's a very hands-on learning environment, so they not only get career technical courses but also college courses and the Common Core.
Hey guys, I'm here with the next educator and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I'm Dana Casey. I'm from Riverview High School in Coshocton County. We were one of the unique schools that has a 220-acre farm attached to our school.
That's awesome. And why are you here today?
Well, any way that I can take, especially my ag students, and help them make a connection to what they're doing on the school farm, to what we are doing in biology, and then give them an idea of some of the different things they could do with an agricultural education.
My name is Ryan Burgess. I'm the director of Governor Kasich's Office of Workforce Transformation.
Awesome. And so tell us a little bit about what your overall goal message is here today.
Right. Now, spending time here today was just fantastic. This is everything that we're trying to put in place in terms of better collaboration between business and education. Our workforce, the industries, the jobs are going to change so quickly and so dramatically. We have to get business leaders and education leaders in the room together, talking to each other, so we can keep in front of the different changes that we're going to start to see.
Hi, I'm Kirk Reese. I'm an agronomy research manager with DuPont Pioneer. Been with the company now for going on 25 years. I'm located in Ohio, and my job role is to conduct and oversight of on-farm trial research across a large geography in the eastern U.S.
And so how do you think that conferences like this are going to benefit ag careers?
If you start at the ground level, and most of the science teachers that are in this forum are from urban environments, so getting kids interested in agriculture is kind of a significant challenge for them, and workshops like that will help them convey that message back to students. Hey, this is an exciting opportunity. This is a discipline that needs you. It is science, technology based, and getting on that ground floor and getting students interested so they can move up through the program, eventually out of high school and into college or some kind of secondary education, I think is very, very important.
Say soybeans! Soybeans!
Are you looking to buy or sell farmland? Then work with a company that works for you. Ron Spencer Real Estate. Founded in 1975, Ron Spencer specializes in farmland, agricultural, and commercial real estate. Check him out on the web with 3 locations to serve you. Ron Spencer Real Estate at rsre.com. That's rsre.com.
Hello once again, everybody. We're visiting with Brooke Foster. Brooke is from Central State University. Now, we want to talk to you about a unique program. And first of all, I guess I really want to ask you how you became involved in Grow Next Gen. That's a program that the Ohio Soybean Association has started growing, so to speak.
I became involved with Grow Next Gen through Mr. John Henry. He's the agriculture person at Central State University over our ag education department, and he presented it to me as an internship. And so I took the idea. It was innovative, creative ways to make agriculture more efficient and also educate the public about agriculture. So I was very interested. I dove straight in, kind of not knowing what I was getting myself into, but I was ready to learn.
Now, what have you learned? You've been going around the state, I've heard, going to county fairs and to other ag events. And who's your audience when you talk to people?
Our audience is everybody from toddlers to senior citizens, is everybody. And it's really nice because we're able to teach children about concepts that maybe don't have an agriculture background, and they're able to understand without getting too confused by the use of language.
Have you seen the faces of people when you're talking with them, some of the people your age or maybe a little younger, that, something clicked, that they might want to get more involved, and they ask you a lot of questions?
Definitely, yes. The children are one of the key people who ask questions. Children are, of course, not afraid to tell us the truth nor ask questions, and I enjoy that about them. They're very well of understanding, especially the concept of soil compaction. We do a thing with these 2 wonderful robots and different type of styles of tires, and the children are able to understand how that surface area is different. And I also do a thing to help the children understand it's kind of interactive and hands-on, so they're able to understand, they're able to ask questions, and they're just the face of the future. So it's kind of really important just to get those guys to understand a lot to me.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since March of 2017, yes. Or no, 2018, sorry.
Okay, so not quite a year. My next question is, what have you learned?
Oh my God, I've learned a lot. The biggest thing I've learned is probably simple as well, is that there are only 10 GMO products, or 10 GMO crops, sorry. And so I didn't know that. You think as a consumer all things are GMO, but if you really know the core factors, what GMOs really are and what they're made of, it helps me feel better as a consumer to understand that from a consumer side, and to be able to tell other consumers, like, don't be so against GMOs, because they're actually really good as far as like resistance and disease resistance, water resistance, drought, things of that nature. So it's really good that we do have GMOs in our economy.
And in some cases, we're able to grow more of the crop without worrying about weeds and things like that.
Definitely.
And so there are people that are starving around the world, and we need to get food to those people. So, you know, GMOs do help.
They're going a long way.
Okay, if there's somebody that would be watching right now and would like to know a little bit more about the program, how would you suggest that they get involved to find out that information?
Definitely on grownextgen.org. There are a lot of wonderful things that you can look up. We have like all of the experiments we've done. You're able to recreate those same experiences in your classroom or at home. There's simple things that you can do. Also, Central State University, we have a wonderful agriculture education program and 4-H and agriculture extension. So you may see me come down to your high school or your town still doing agriculture extension, extending that public knowledge.
Well, I can tell you one thing, all those that are watching right now, that Grow Next Gen has, I think, really propelled Brooke Foster to a place where you have a great potential for possibly a career in agriculture. Would you like that?
Yes, I would.
Okay, well, Brooke's been our guest. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And stay with us, back with more right after this.
S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory. Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. Be sure to check out our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And for links to those two sites, you can always check us out on the web at inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.